The tide moved with a steady rhythm, each wave gliding up the shore before retreating, as though the ocean itself was breathing slowly, deliberately. The sand, cool beneath my bare feet, seemed to hold the memory of countless tides that had come and gone, much like the chapters of my own life. Beside me walked the woman who had not just stood by me in difficult times, but had lifted me out of the hollow depths where I once believed I would remain forever. She had become more than comfort. She was proof that life could begin again even after ruin. It had been 3 long, unforgiving years since I had last spoken to the woman who once wore my ring, 3 years since her absence had carved silence so sharp it cut deeper than any words could have. In that time, I had learned to live with the unanswered questions she left behind. That afternoon, under the warm gold of the descending sun, I felt something I had not allowed myself to feel in years: stillness. The breeze carried salt and warmth, brushing against my skin as if the air itself wanted to remind me of the gentleness still left in the world. And then I saw her. Not from memory, not from wishful thinking, but in the flesh, my former wife, standing motionless a short distance ahead. At first, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me, but the way her body stiffened, the way her eyes widened in disbelief, erased any doubt. Recognition pierced both of us instantly. She froze, her expression an unraveling tapestry of shock, confusion, and a pain she failed to disguise. I knew she hadn't anticipated this encounter. Neither had I. The woman at my side had once found me broken and unrecognizable, drowning in the emptiness my ex-wife's silence had left. She had reached down into that darkness and pulled me out with nothing but patience, tenderness, and conviction that I was worth saving. She had become my foundation, the new beginning I never thought I would have. My ex understood it at once. The significance of the woman holding my hand was written all over her face. Her lips parted as though to speak, but nothing emerged. It was a haunting reminder of the way she had left me, wordless, without explanation, without closure. I remembered begging for answers, for something to ease the wound she created, only to be left with a suffocating quiet that nearly crushed me. Now, looking at her standing there, trembling, her eyes bright with unspilled tears, I couldn't help but wonder if regret had been gnawing at her all this time. As I drew closer, my pace slowed. I caught her gaze drifting downward to my hand entwined with the woman beside me. I could almost feel the sound of her heart breaking, sharp and brittle, carried in that one fragile moment. She, who had once seemed so sure of herself, who had walked away without hesitation, now appeared fragile, stripped of the composure she once wielded like armor. Her voice, when it finally came, was barely more than a whisper. My name, quivering, uncertain, as though it might pull us back into the past. But it didn't. The name no longer carried the weight it once did. I felt no anger, no ache, not even bitterness. Only a hollow neutrality, the kind that comes when pain has burned itself out and left nothing behind. The woman at my side squeezed my hand gently, grounding me in the present, reminding me without words that I no longer lived in that chapter. She needed no introductions, no explanations. Her silent strength told me she understood everything without asking. My ex's eyes moved back and forth between us, the reality clear. I had stepped forward into a life she no longer belonged to. The waves crashed steadily behind us, filling the silence with their timeless cadence. I thought of the nights I had spent alone, questioning why she left, drowning in resentment, only to wake with an emptiness that never faded. And yet, standing before her now, seeing her raw and diminished, I felt only release. She shifted a step closer, almost reaching out, but something, pride, fear, shame, pulled her back. Her eyes betrayed her longing, though her lips stayed still. I could sense her desire to ask about the woman beside me, to know who she was, what she meant. But she already knew. She didn't need to ask. Finally, I spoke. My voice was calm, steady, stripped of any sentiment. 3 years have passed. The words weren't offered as comfort or reconciliation. They were simply fact, heavy with the reminder of the time she had discarded. She swallowed hard, unable to respond. Her silence, the same silence that had once destroyed me, now only confirmed what I already knew. The past was untouchable. The woman who had saved me gave a small, almost imperceptible tug at my hand, urging me onward. I followed her without hesitation. My ex remained behind, her body frozen, tears threatening to fall, watching us drift farther away from her world. She had once been the very center of my universe, the axis on which my world spun. Now she was little more than a faded outline, a remnant of a time that no longer held me captive. I did not look back. The shore stretched on, endless and open, and with each step I took, the weight of yesterday lifted from me. The waves swept in, as if washing away the remnants of that chapter, leaving me clean, unburdened. She had broken her own heart that day, not by anything I did, but by finally realizing the enormity of what she had let slip away. The sea carried on, indifferent and eternal, erasing footprints as quickly as they were made. For me, there was no returning to what once was. She had stolen my voice when she left me in silence, but I had found it again in the laughter, kindness, and love of the woman who now walked beside me. And in that truth, I had everything I needed.